Hey y'all, for this Meditation Monday, I decided to do a reflection about seeking and advocating really in what pro se looks like in the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois. So the state of Illinois has a court-based rental assistance program, which is very problematic for me because I'm not understanding why there is oversight and a kind of policing manner for this program within Cook County and the city of Chicago specifically, given the issues of discriminatory impact of policing here, whereas this is not a requirement for the suburban areas. So that's problematic for me because most people who are residing in the suburbs are a certain income threshold, meaning middle class, in most of the suburban area in the state of Illinois is predominantly white. And there are mixed neighborhoods, but for that, the privilege that is being exerted to keep the racial caste system in place in the state of Illinois, in the city of Chicago, under the disguise of Democrats assisting people of color is total bullshit, right? So, my frustration in moving in advocacy is the patriarchal ideals being so honored within the judicial system, in the courts within the city of Chicago. There is no proper oversight that is happening with the courts. And the everyday person who is just looking for public information about how the court should run, we're not getting that information at all. And if I didn't go to law school, I would have took their word as is. But there's also a classist, elitist attitude within the legal field that those who have crossed that threshold of the bar are in social agreement to prey on the community members in the city of Chicago by economic repression and toxic capitalist gains. So Chicago is moving forward in restorative justice initiatives. Unfortunately, the Black American in the city of Chicago, especially if you're low income, which a lot of us are, and you have a identity here, you are being pimped and bullied into funding your own demise. They have not stopped the over-policing and ticketing in predominantly Black communities. They have not stopped. Where is that funding going? Okay, so my issue with District 1, which was the eviction court, is that when I went in there for general information, the employee decided to inform me that my case will be thrown out because I am a property owner. Now, make no mistake, I'm a property owner as in the sense that I have a loan. I have a mortgage. I do not have the property fully under my ability to claim as an asset, real in reality. Not in this fictional world of equity and credit. No. Hard property asset, most people in the city of Chicago do not have that. So it was told to me that the judge would discriminate against me, make that very clear. that my case would get thrown out for a court waiver fee, which I am fully qualified for based on the criteria, not in 1 but 2 and 3 thresholds. They did not let me submit any evidence to prove my social status. They simply stated because I have a mortgage, I could not receive the court waiver fee. That is unethical and illegal. And the fact that there are a certain group of people who have authority without any oversight by government bodies, that's not democracy. That's a republic. We don't live in a republic, last time I checked. Last time I checked, we do not live in a republic. We live in democracy. And there's checks and balance of 3 branches of government. And when I asked, hey, where is the office for me to make a complaint against this ruling and decision that I did not agree with, they said that's just what it is, hon. And then when I kept pressing, they were like, okay, the overall judge of this is Timothy Evans, and this is who you have to talk to. I said, so how does this process go? No one at the clerk's office is going to me step by step. Now, it's very important to explain to you what happened before today. So before today, as I'm telling you about the gentleman who told me that my court case was going to get thrown out, I said, so you can't tell me that. He said, well, I'm just trying to tell you what it is. Okay. So I asked to speak to a manager. Actually, he suggested, do I want to speak to a manager? I said, absolutely. She comes over. She said, we're just trying to help you out, young lady. I'm just telling you what the judge is going to do. I said, well, ma'am, you can't tell me what the judge is going to do, because if you already anticipate what the judge is going to do, then he's not giving my case a fair review. He's not looking and weighing the evidence when every case is supposed to be case-by-case basis. I fall for an exemption if I fall under a certain income threshold. So you're saying the judge not doing his job? That's not what I'm saying, ma'am. We're just trying to inform you. Okay, cool. Well, you're incorrect. And then the gentleman comes over and said, excuse me, don't lie on me. I never told you that it's with the judge. I said, it may happen. I said, well, I don't think you're supposed to say that either, sir. But I'm not going to lie on you because that's what you said verbatimly. Now, how's this patriarchal example, Myra? Because when a biological male says something in any arena, but especially specifically in the legal field, they take it as the word of God. When there are rules and statutes in place to make sure that discrimination does not happen, now I have to do the labor of standing up for myself and others, which I have no problem with, but I shouldn't have to do because you've already took an oath to be just, to create equity, to be equal in your review. Did you not? And that is the issue that I'm seeing with civil servants in the city of Chicago, because at no point did I speak to a person outside of the manager for the clerk office, actually, apologies, and the director of the office. So the 2 people who had authority in the office were Hispanic women. Everybody that made the decision to act in a discriminatory way towards me and legally in the office were Black. And this is dangerous because we're in a very vulnerable spot right now in the city of Chicago as Black Americans. And we are literally getting ripped apart by income status, making us weaker. And those of us who have the tools in the legal field, they are bitching up on us. What they're doing is they're waving their material things in people's face to tell you, oh, don't you want this lifestyle? And at the same time sacrificing our people. So that their statistics determined by predominantly white bodies result in the demise. And if we keep following it, the percentages gets higher, 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 higher. And those who have got comfortable in a position of tokenism, which is tied to patriarchy, which is tied to racism, they have gotten comfortable in their seats of the racial caste system, because even if they have to be penalized as a Black American, at least they have material comfort. And I'll be posting a video with Amanda Seals and the woman from Parking Lot Pimpin'. And because I don't want to say her name incorrectly, I will not disrespect her in that way, because I'm trying to remember it and she doesn't like that, so I'm going to be attuned to that. But she started off the conversation about evaluating the civil rights movement and why she would not apply that today. And the reason we can't apply the same mechanisms of the civil rights movement is because we are operating in an individualistic mindset. We have gotten too weak by material comfort. And I saw it today when a woman who looks like she's 60 something, probably has seen it all, literally comes back with a court document without my handwriting on it. Mind you, they switched out my documentation as well, and I'll be getting more in a video of that later. Switched out my documentation and did not take my evidence, even though I asked her to submit it and told me I don't need that. We don't do that here. This is a court. This is a court action. When you make an order, when you submit documentation, you submit supporting documentation as evidence. She wouldn't even take it. And that's my issue right there. Telling y'all the reality is that those of us with melanated skin are the best white supremacists. We have become the best white supremacists. And I'll take credit, because collectively, I can't step outside of what we doing to each other, what I see what we doing to each other. How many people of melanation and the nationality of Black American, if you don't want to adjacent yourself or attach yourself to African, that's cool. But as an American who is melanated, who has a history of ancestors being enslaved here, we are slaughtering each other in these workspaces. And these civil servants, you are slaughtering our people. You are slaughtering our people. You private organizations who are suffering severely from inferiority complex and a lack of self-love. See, I don't care about none about that material bag no more. Because as I get older, I'm starting to see that has crippled a lot of our brilliant minds. We're not even innovative in how we move no more. We have become stagnant after the civil rights movement. And that's on purpose, because we watch our leaders get slaughtered one by one. Martin, Malcolm, Fred, slaughtered. We are still in the state of warfare. And we're putting on band-aids of clothes, makeup, weave. Don't get me wrong, y'all know I love a good time. But as I'm maturing, I wake up every day the fact that we still whisper about what's happening to us while open-armedly embracing, hello, Israel and Palestine, openly embracing high migrant crisis, dropping off vulnerable people in an already vulnerable city where Black Americans have not received an ounce of remedy for the state violence that has been administrated across our body. In the Chirac area, we don't have to go to the crack era. We don't have to go through the civil rights movement. We don't have to go through the black codes. We don't have to go all the way back to slavery. Let's just talk about what happened in Chirac. This is the reality, that after I go through the meditation, I go through the yoga, I have the strength now to speak about what is happening. And the fact that Black Americans like me are frustrated with what we see, oh my God, and let me tie it into that I live in a neighborhood that is getting grossly gentrified and right in front of us. We fighting a good fight though. But the adding of the blows from our own people in their decision making and funding, their lack of empathy because they made it to what? When you keep saying they will be mad if you help us, they will be mad if we push forth policy that will sustain our community, they will be upset and then turn around and turn Black Americans who are trying and discourage them and tell them Black Americans don't want no change. Well, I'm in your face. I'm in your face, literally assisting you, addressing it. They don't want to because they have become white supremacists. And we have to be real with ourselves, and you have to be real with yourself. Are you? Because title, status, material wealth, spiritual wealth, none of that matters when you come into a place of action. Are you hurting or harming your community? Are you hurting or harming your community because you lack the ability to love yourself? It's really that simple. Because if we really loved ourselves, we would not be stuck on survival mode no more. We wouldn't care what they thought at all. Because they are not God. You are. They are the devil. Have you not learned enough from the devil? Did you not know how to apply? You that holy? No, you're not. Not when you will take the risk of putting another Black American in sacrificial mode so that you can maintain comfort. You're not that holy. And if you are on demon time, which so many of us call upon, which ain't acting on it outside of on each other and within permission of the illusion of white supremacy, demons don't follow rules. Yet here you are, not a demon, you're a slave. You're not disrupting anything. And I have to be honest about that, what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of Black Americans wear their nice things, adorn themselves with so many things to mask their pain of diminishing and giving over their self-ruling authority. Acting childlike. I've been in spaces with people who have had higher positions in this society, and they still put their eyes down when someone comes in to talk to them, and then catch a whole attitude with me because I'm just like, what are we doing? I can't say that. So I protested the decision that the judge made and asked the elder to point me in the right direction to make an active complaint against the decision that the judge made against my court waiver. I even asked to speak to the judge. There's no space. 1301, by the way, putting this out there. It's at the Richard Daley building, 6th floor for evictions. So I went in there, and I'm talking through it because this is the reality, and I'm so upset. But I've learned how to channel my anger in a different way. So when I asked her, to do all this, I can't talk to the judge. She didn't know why I was going to make the complaint. I asked her, why did she change my documentation? That's not my handwriting. I typed my documentation over and I did a DocuSign. Why is this being done over? And then when I told her, this is not fair. This is not cool. She had and this is what I'm talking about, the use of state violence against the black body. She had a law enforcement officer up there, right? And then I said, hey, that's not my handwriting. That's not the document I gave you, so why did you change it out? Well, I need to change it out because and I said, ma'am, that's not making any sense. Ma'am, it's not making any sense. And then and I have to explain what I felt and what I was experiencing, the black elder woman got up because she was so frustrated that I questioned her authority when it's her job to service the public. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Civil servants, you're a servant to civil service, the citizen body, public service. She got upset that I kept pressing because what she was saying wasn't making sense. And then the law enforcement, she went to the back of the room where I could still see her, and then the law enforcement became closer. And I said, ma'am, I'm not done talking. You haven't gave me a clear answer. The law enforcement officer moved closer towards me, and I said, got it. I'll be back. Us in our 30s, we're going to have to get a little more courage. We're going to have to get a little more courage because those before us are making it dangerous for us. They're still acting in childlike behavior of the abuse of racism in America. And therefore, they're leaving us open to be sacrificed, to maintain a system while they have comfort that if we don't pay into and that we don't survive, it won't be here. And that's what I'm talking about, this idea of toxic Christianity and the fact that those people want to poison the collective's mind, that we're going to have an apocalypse, that the world's going to come to an end because you won't even standing up for yourself and your community. So instead of us doing that and facing our fears, I will fucking let it all in. They're literally agreeing to the destruction of our society because they refuse to fix it and do the inward work. That's what holistic health advocacy is to me. I just don't want to win a case. There needs to be structural change. And because there needs to be structural change, that means that people within the structure and the system have to change themselves. They have to change their mind, their body, and their spirit. But because they have been on survival mode so much and they've done so much detrimental things to our society, first they have to learn how to forgive themselves. You're not talking to someone who didn't do it. When I worked at for a federal agency, and I'm hesitating on that because what I've also experienced in my personal life, the sabotaging that people have moved in, because I don't want to say subconsciously, I speak against the bourgeoisie, and I know a lot of bourgeoisie people, and they rather watch our people sit in demise than move from their just temporary discomfort. They don't want to see structural change because that would mean that the self-betrayal that they did wasn't worth it. There we go. And the longer you sit in it, the more you hate yourself. I just got tired of that. I don't think I ever hated myself, but it was getting to a point where I was disliking myself. Because I'm not gonna mince my word because a white man came into the room. Who gives a fuck? So this is a human being. We're terrified that they're gonna show their teeth again. Let's be real. We're terrified, but I thought we live in a color age, a colorblind society. Which one is it? Which one is it? Because the ones of us who want to tell us that, oh, everybody's not so bad, then why can't we speak about what's going on with Black Americans collectively in this tone of voice? Not yelling, just a normal speaking voice. Why can't we? Why we always got to do this and tell them that? Why are we still doing that in 2023? Where your heart? Where your courage? It's like, well, we can't speak like you, sis, because we're not going to survive. That don't infuriate you? What type of world are you creating for your children? What type of world are you creating for your children? What are you saying yes to when it comes to Black children? What are you saying yes to when it comes to Black elders? What are you saying yes to when it comes to your Black ass? What are you saying yes to? What are you saying yes to as far as what they can do to us without a fight? Because we saying yes to a lot of things that I'm not comfortable with. When I know what the rules are and I know what's getting granted and how people are stroking their ego through the oppression of Black Americans, even some Black Americans. Because if you can't win over here, then I'm going to stop you before you get here, sis. I'm going to let you know how it is before you get here, sis. I'm not going to join the fight with you, sis. I'm just going to let you know this how it is. That's depressing. That's war. So it's like Black Americans need to support Palestine. And I do. But I can't draw my energy over there into another cycle of green lighting the illusion of white supremacy. What was the reason? What was the reason? If not to groom us back into the position of accepting abuse. Because what happens is if we put our attention there once again, and the United States government does nothing, and we was there, we see, oh, well, here comes back to the cycle of the abuse of Black Americans, which I'm not getting. That there is a fight to push us back into a space that we were in before COVID-19. It was a scary ass space to be, wasn't it? But y'all don't remember. It's only 3 years ago. Have you been that conditioned for oppression that you don't realize or connect the dots of what they're doing? And some people are comfortable with that because they want to live the rest of their life out what they've been comfortable with. They want to go back to the industrial complex, the military complex of the United States. But well, you know what happens? Black Americans pay for that. Chirac was a direct result of our presence in the Middle East. Everything is connected. Because when they're done with the military gear there, they bring it here. There's a lust for violence. There's a lust for blood in this country. There's a lust for the trauma events of a particular group. And I feel sympathetic towards the migrants because they're getting groomed, literally, not to just take the place of Black Americans, but when we say that, understand it's not the benefits of Black Americans, it's also the oppression. A caste system creates the wealth in this country. And we are just feeding it. Yes, I say we. We are feeding it. And our refusal to actually heal for real, is fucking us up. This is the reality of what I see. The bourgeoisie are holding on to dear life and fighting every Black American that is coming to disrupt the system that has systemically, detrimentally hurt Black Americans since the kidnapping of our ancestors. We are not that far removed outside of not receiving high numbers of threat state violence as we did. And that's not nothing to brag about, because it ain't like it disappeared though. That's like somebody beating your ass every day of the week and decided, hey, I ain't gonna beat your ass. I'm every day no more. I don't think you need no ass whoopers no more like that. I'm just gonna whoop your ass 4 times out of the week, okay? It was 7, now it's 4. Be grateful. Do you hear how fucking insane that sounds? And black women in Chicago, I don't know how we're gonna get out of it, but a lot of y'all refusal, some of y'all, because I see the words coming, I see you, but my patience just is running thin. Y'all are manifesting our demise because you won't heal. You are manifesting our demise. And to the melanated women who do not identify as Black American, and you know what you are spiritually, and you hate us that bad. No, you don't hate us. You hate yourself that bad that you abuse your spirituality because you are childlike in manner, because you know exactly what they're doing in Black Americans, but you want to make sure you separate yourself from that. I almost said something that is deep in my heart, but I don't believe in diaspora wars. Don't get it twisted. We are not a weak people. We've been in the belly of the beast for a long time. And when a Black American woman wake up, we advise you to pick smartly. Decide on what you want to be on. Because y'all also are plagued with colorism. Y'all also are plagued with texturism. Y'all also are plagued with futurism. And only invoke this high esteem around Black Americans who don't know thyself until you step in the arena with someone like me. And I am asking biological women who have an identity in this realm, who have a nationality identity of American, to slow down, take one day of rest, study something outside of what you've been indoctrinated in. Jesus was a beautiful healer and warrior. Not every one of y'all is walking like, if you claim you're a Christian, but your indoctrination is only to focus on his murder, are you being groomed to walk in the life of Jesus or to be the death of Jesus? Are you being groomed, or have you been groomed to honor the life of Jesus and move in that way? Or have you only been acknowledging his death and moving in that way? That's the thing that's starting to irritate me too. The lack of self-awareness and what we're prophesizing with our mouths upon our people. That's the patriarchal society that I'm talking about. Because the feminine energy honors the life of Jesus, the servitude of Jesus, the humility and engaging with another human as an equal. Not feeding off of that energy to stroke his ego, but nurture the people back into a high vibrational energy. And there's nothing wrong with masculine energy, but when it's too much, you're not displaying the intelligence that you think you are. You need both. We're off balance. And the death of Jesus was a rude awakening to humanity. But for some reason, we can't get out the fixation of how trauma brings you to enlightenment. Everybody ain't supposed to come to enlightenment through trauma, yet we keep trying to project that on everyone. You know how many people, when I'm speaking against racial oppression, they go, Jesus? Oh, my Jesus. Oh, my Jesus. You curse. You're trying to curse me, baby. Don't get mad when I send it back 10 times. Don't get mad. Because I know you're not calling on him in the name of, in the celebration of my advocacy. You're not calling on it in a celebration of somebody coming to disrupt what is happening. The oppression that is being staffed upon us, that's smothering us. You calling on it for me to shut the fuck up as a warning of what could happen to people who stand up. But they win a new age. You don't think we saw enough examples of that? That I will allow that in my realm? You're not strong enough, obviously. This is the reality of the situation, that those of us who are complaining, I won't detach myself from my people because we're not in the best light in my eyes right now. Those of us who are constantly saying, but niggas don't do this, black folks don't do this, we don't do that. Are you creating safe spaces for black people to do that? When I say safe spaces, it ain't gotta be money. It ain't gotta be an office space. Just, that's what the conversation started was about. Are you creating a soft space, a safe space, an equal space, not male dominant, not female dominant, a real space? You ain't gotta be broadcast by everybody. I'm gonna do it because it's what I was called to do. Are you catching attitude with people that are being innovative? Are you catching your energy? Are you managing your emotions? Because we all feel jealousy, we all feel envy. Are you acting in it? And if you're acting in it, are you being detrimental to your people? Are you recognizing that you might be a low vibrational being, but just because you're a low vibrational being does not mean that you don't have intelligence? Because I go high and low, I know it. So you can use your low vibration for good. You choose not to because you won't question your indoctrination. You only use your low vibrational within the permission of the illusion of white supremacy. Why are you on demon time only on black Americans, but you ain't on demon time on nobody else? You could become so polite. Even that's low vibrational too, because it's self-betrayal. It's not everything that I'm bringing works. It's the fact, and I understand why Obama and Michelle stated that the city of Chicago is such a difficult place to work. We're trying to do justice. Because our people have been beaten down so much that we still have heart. We got heart for the wrong shit. Our ambition is so low. The bar is too low on our demands. And then when somebody gives you a space for the demands, you tune them out because it's not entertaining to you. You're letting your childhood indoctrination rule your life. A lot of you are letting, because I'm detached with that, a lot of you are letting your childhood indoctrination rule your life. And that's why we're not cohesive in community. Because we still use the saying, everybody want to be a chief, nobody want to be an Indian. That is some illusion, white illusion bullshit. You think that the Native Americans classified themselves in that way? It's not even they fucking saying. If you have made it to this point of your life, and your ancestors and your descendants, and everybody's here has made you to that point, everybody achieved then. You got a purpose. Now, we got to talk about roles to play as you learn that comes organically. It comes organically. But determining who can say and what can say, when we going to get out of that? We all have a voice. We all have something to say. No one has to be quiet. Actually, we all should be speaking at once to overpower what is really going on with us. Where it has to come in this type of package. Some of y'all sound so fucking idiotic. That's the reality that I'm saying. It's like, well, they said it's this way. I don't know. Or they said it's this way. I don't know. Or they said it's this way. I don't know. I'm just telling you what it is. I can code switch. I love it. It doesn't matter what type of degree you have if you're not going to apply the education. I see a lot of people with sociology degrees, law degrees, credentials up the ass, and don't have not one independent thought outside of what the illusion of white supremacy has green light for them. They don't have one independent thought outside of what the illusion of white supremacy has done for them. You're not operating in your intelligence, you're operating in your indoctrination, a memorization of survival. Check this box off and you will be fine. But what happens is, in the long run, you're gonna fuck yourself. So in my reality today was a day of unfucking some of the things that Black Americans have done. And I have to take it slow now. I have to take it slow. Because I'm not afraid. It's just infuriating me. Infuriating me how we have to still sneak like we're in the Underground Railroad at 2023. There we go. And it's because we won't change our mentality that we have a voice and power. What is the point of being in these positions if you can't even help your people? It's just, oh, well, me and my family cool, but you want me to. And that's the shit that kills me. You want accolades. You want rewards from the same people who are being damaged by this system. You have turned yourself into the perfect vessel for white supremacy. You want the badge for being a token, but you ain't taking no risk. Well, look, me and my family, we got stabilization. And it's like, okay, well, all right, no problem. Can you get Black people employed? As long as you be a good nigga. Be a good nigga. Don't come in here with that revolutionary bullshit. What do you mean revolutionary? Equity? The fact that we can be in spaces and talk about our culture without people feeling like people can reprimand us for speaking truth of what's really happening with Black Americans. Talk about it. Had to put myself in a space mentally because I can't believe that woman changed out my document and then expected me not to know this. That's the insult to intelligence to me. You don't even respect me as a Black American woman who literally told you my trajectory and like told you bits and pieces, made the fucking dots connect for you, and you still did action that is highly illegal for your satisfaction of giving a blow to a young Black American woman because you live in self-betrayal. You live in self-betrayal. Because you won't question the authority, which you know is doing people in wrong. So now you take on this idea, yeah, I'm evil. To whom? If you're only evil to Black Americans, you're not no threat. You're not a threat. Not in my world. You're not intimidating. You're not none of that. You're a coward. it got to a certain point that we're taking our survivorship as a badge of honor. We become cowards. We become cowards. We watched the slaughter of Breonna Taylor. We watched the slaughter of Sandra Bland. We watched the slaughter of Kanika Jenkins. We watched the slaughter of Kiera Coates. We don't know what happened to Kiera Coates, but we watched them take a pregnant black woman and do nothing. And make no mistake, a lot of these issues stem from the connection of patriarchal system of satisfying the male ego, no matter what his level of melanation is. Hello. See, women in this country have gotten so desperate, and I say women, all melanation, for the male presence, and we have created some of the most twisted realities for each other. The womb is very powerful. They know that. The womb wars in the Black American community are fucking ridiculous. They're ridiculous, and it's all ages doing it. I gotta get mine. What are you subjecting yourself to on a ideal type of way, ideology, when you engage with men who have no respect for women? Literally have no respect for women. And you can see it. And my thing is that a lot of women don't have respect for womanhood. Stop self-betraying. That's it. And when I mean self-betraying, I mean accepting your decision making in certain things. Doesn't mean that's going to always result in the most favorable circumstances for you, but the acceptance that you made that decision goes a long freaking way in moving us forward as a collective. Because I'm so sick of men playing villains with the empowerment of women behind them. I'm not saying every woman has to be a good woman. Like, I fucks with Candace Owens. She's a great villain. She's an equal opportunity villain, though. That's why I like her. That's who she is. That's who she is. There's a lot of Black American women who have villainized our community because they have become the anchor for their family. And there's nothing wrong with being an anchor. And when do you make the decision to stop the generational curse of accepting the racial caste system? You just gonna hold that down? We're gonna hold that down? Fuck no. Fuck no. It's exhausting. Fuck no. Fuck no. We want to play the competition of who's gonna survive this shit the most. Y'all are insane. That's what the city of Chicago Black American population is doing. Because they're too afraid of peace, too afraid of equity. And that's all economic classes, statuses. I don't care about where you at in your income threshold. I've met so many people in different income thresholds and they fold so fast for that income. That's the reality of it. I'm tired of sneaking around. We're too fucking old for that. And what we scared of. I'll just run. Because I didn't see Black Americans, man. I literally was behind in a laundromat, and two black women of my age followed me to where I was at because a black male, when I had my fro, looked at me with disgust, so I gave it back to his ass, like, back at you, bro. Well, I had my fro, so I was like that, back at you, bro. You can't play with me in that way. Your need of me accepting your attraction as my value of myself will always give you a fuck off. I know I'm beautiful in every way. So when you come to harm me, I'm gonna send that shit back to you 10 times, instantly. I ain't got no time to wait no more with nobody. But these black women saw that, probably felt like I disrespected him, even though they didn't see what he did to me. And decided to, show him. And stood behind me in a threatening manner. And I got so frustrated because one of the young ladies, she told her kid, because she was getting in close, so I gave her a look. I was like, Myra, this ain't the time and place. But she had children, yet she wanted to act in teenage manner. Hey, to people in their 30s in the city of Chicago, I just want to bring you up to speed. I'll help you with this Hill and Park. High school over with, baby. High school's over with. That, because a lot of y'all was bullies. That bully mentality is only gonna get you so far in the world. It's only gonna get you so far. And the fact that you're teaching your children how to bully other black Americans, for what? Bully this motherfucking racist ass system in the city of Chicago. Get up and do that. That'll make me look at you differently. So she sat there and she told her daughter, I'll smack you in your face right now. She was talking to me, but she was going through her daughter. Do you see how desperate we have become for male attention? That we will harm our babies. To give another woman the illusion that you a Billy Badass on your children. To prove them that you rah. That's the thing out here. Don't tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think I am. You want to show me that you can beat another woman's ass so bad, but we can't even get protection, because I can. I know how to speak to police officers. I know what they can and cannot do to me, and I try to educate as much as I can. But your mentality got to be of a free person, because I know my human rights supersede that constitutional right. But back to the subject matter at hand. And it's just not in a laundromat. This at this in the public offices. These are talking to all types of people. If you don't have the courage to fight institutions, but you have the courage to fight another human being because you felt like somebody disrespected an adult man who was holding him accountable, bitch, scrub up expeditiously. Because what opportunity will he be giving you? Y'all want to prove so bad to these men that you would take the blows for him. Fucking idiots. And I'm not just talking about in that way. I'm talking about these women who just committed state violence on me again. They put themselves on the cross. There we go, my perfect example. On the cross. Because if it trickles down, and I do what I'm going to do, which I am, hold them accountable, find out the way to make the formal complaints. We ain't got no time. That's the thing. They think when you're in a certain position financially that you're so pressed for assistance that you will criminalize yourself. That is so fucking dumb. As if we don't have enough examples of that already in our community. They want you to have faith that you can't exercise your rights. And when I say they, I'm talking about Black Americans who have acted in self-betrayal to get into these positions. To validate that, yeah, I'm in survival mode, I couldn't do anything. So I'm going to I'm going to make sure that you're not successful in evoking your rights because I never tried. And every time that I saw someone try, I saw this person who was supposed to be an authority, who was less melanin than me, exercise that authority in an incorrect, unethical, and illegal way. But I'm not going to question it because who am I? I got to preserve this caste system. When I say we gotta preserve the caste system, that woman and her friends standing behind me, doing that type of bullying, and me having to have restraint to not be in a space of ignorance because I'm being cognitive that there's children around. I don't have any physical children, y'all. But as an adult woman, I'm being cognitive that in that moment we're teaching children. And the fact that you can neglect your child for a small piece of attention for a man, and teach your child how to administrate emotional and mental, and then threat physical violence to jump through a loop for a nigga that ain't even looking at you, that's crazy. Outside of seeing if you're gonna incite his adolescent mind to try to destroy another woman, melanated woman, because that's what bitches do, right? The reduction of womanhood in the city of Chicago is disgusting, and it is not no mistake how people come and prey on black women in the city of Chicago. Oh, if you want to see a good example of an obedient woman who is subservient to her oppression, a lot of the black women in Chicago are like that. A lot of women in Chicago, more specifically, if you are a narcissist abuser and women are in destitute because of the warlike mentality, the warlike environment that they have been raised and groomed in, and many of us have not had the opportunity to separate from that and breathe under all of that oppression. Oh baby, you are the pick of the litter for someone coming to abuse, because we so ride or die out here. That's one thing about a black woman in Chicago. She don't fight, baby. But we fighting the wrong fight. We fighting the fight that is the preserving. When I say black woman, it's all black women, but it's specifically that Afro real black woman out here. Y'all know what I mean. More melanated, more foreseen, more futurism. Y'all know what I mean. There's been a socialization about who's the green light for abuse. And if that person fits all those criteria, they better have some money. That's what it is. So they can pimp you. They will pimp you in order for you to preserve the protection that they say they're providing for you. Create the environment which you need the protection. Make no mistake about it. And then pimp you to provide materially in whatever way it looks, whether you're giving it to them or you're aesthetically showing up a certain way to show that you have to be this in order to just be treated as a decent human being. Fuck that. That's what the women in Chicago are preserving. This idealistic idea of toxic materialism, toxic motherhood, toxic fatherhood. And it's because we as a collective, I say we are slowing down in the healing. We can't let up. There was a reason why human trafficking was so prominent in the city of Chicago. You think they cooled down? You think they ain't itching for it again? And who are they grooming for it now? Who's the next round? You gonna fight? You just gonna let it happen? You gonna keep paying for protection by a motherfucker that's creating an environment that's killing you? Sounds like idiots to me if we keep doing it. I'm not an idiot. nor was I bred to be anybody's fucking victim for their manhood or womanhood. Make that very clear. Because there's a lot of divine masculine energy that's in the biological woman out here. That identity of it's over, it's dead, let it the fuck go. Give these children a chance, because you are so thirsty to return back to a space because you don't know how to handle peace. Give these children, give yourself a chance. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to do. I'm starting to notice that because the projections I get as a 33-year-old woman about what I need to do. I don't need to do none. All I need is me. I love me. I don't need nothing outside of myself to love myself. I don't need nothing outside of myself to give myself a reason to live. And I know that can make a lot of people upset. I don't give a fuck. I don't need nothing out of me. This right here to give myself, oh, I gotta live for this. I live for me. I fight for me. Because y'all at least have the fucking audacity to fight for your children or your parents. One or the other, pick. I don't care. But it's getting frustrating to see how much we are holding on to this identity of being the best oppressed. Had to say it. Had to say it. That's what I'm experiencing as I'm doing holistic health advocacy. Ain't no way we're supposed to be in this space and we still grappling on what holistic health is. It's the ability to heal thyself. Y'all smoking on blunts, y'all won't even eat a piece of fruit afterwards to eat it. Start eating more fresh fruit when you are intoxicating yourself with these things. Drink more water, hydrate yourself. Stop using the excuse that we have a food desert when we got jewels. Get on the bus and go get you something. Like, come on. We got stores in our thing. Walking to the corner store and using your EBT is bullshit. There's farmers markets across the city. If you don't know what a farmers market is, go to the Chicago Public Library. You gotta want to live. You gotta want to live. Get out of the scenario, the ghetto welfare queen that they are putting in your head. You are a taxpayer. Governments are supposed to provide for their community members. They're not doing you no favors. I'm going to say it again, you are a taxpayer. If you're on this earth and you ain't bought nothing but food, because remember, they literally just took away the tax for food. So don't let them play with you in that way. As a human being, as an American, you have spent your money on some type of product outside of food. In this country, you are a taxpayer. Your government is supposed to provide you with sustainability. We have to exercise intelligence outside of the scope of what the illusion of white supremacy has taught us. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. They're not doing us no favors when they're providing social services. This is what healthy governments are supposed to do. If we're not doing that, then we live in a monarchy. If we're not doing that, then most likely we live in a republic. That is not the U.S. Constitution is supposed to be providing us. Stop letting these people play in your face. Intelligent black woman. Stop reducing yourself so that another human being can feel good about their shitty ass life. I don't care what they have or what they don't have. Because it goes both ways. It goes both ways. The excuse to use the vessel of abusing another one because of what circumstances you're going through instead of fighting to find equity is bullshit on all income levels. You're making excuses. You don't have to do that. There comes a point when we show compassion and empathy, and then when we show accountability. There's a lack of accountability in our community. That we rather curse each other spiritually than bless each other up. And that's how I end this video. And you know who you are. You know who you are. And if you don't know, now you do. Now you do. Stop cursing each other and bless each other up. And if you're going to curse, could you please put it in the appropriate parties that will actually give us sustainability? Everybody a witch, so it's time to do witch shit. Come on now. Anyway, have a great day.